probably one of the most popular New Year's resolutions for women over 40 is in the category of getting healthier. And if it's not number one for you, it's probably more than likely in the top five. Am I right? I think the statistics will bear me out. And within that broad intention, that desire to get healthier is usually something to do with losing weight. And I wanted to talk today a little bit about that based on an email that I got from a good friend of mine recently. And she got that from someone else who was sharing her losses and her wins in terms of her goals for the past year, the year previously. And one of those goals was that she needed to lose a certain amount of weight. And she had only done a bit of it, about 50% of what she had wanted to get rid of. And in that email that she was sending as an update, here's how I did on this goal and that goal and the other goal. The goal of losing weight, she put in there, and I want to highlight this. And this is where the idea came from for this video today. Weight loss is 80% nutrition and 20% fitness. And although this channel is not geared, it's not focused primarily on weight loss has been a part of my journey. And so I wanted to share some of that with you today. If you are new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thanks for stopping by. My name is Arlene Timber Henry, and on this channel, I talk about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle changes for women over 40. And I have a journey, I have a story about weight loss that I thought was relevant. Once I read that 80% nutrition, 20% fitness, I said to myself, yes, that is very much true, at least for me. And so some of this is something that I can very, very much relate to. I had been overweight from childhood. In my childhood, I was overweight, and I understand how some of that weight can be with us and following us all the way through our life. I grew up with a grandmother, two siblings, my dad and his mother, my grandmother, because our mom passed when I was 8 years old. So my paternal grandmother came to live with us, and that's the mom that I knew before she passed. She fed us well. And I like to say that love in our house was spelt Food. It was a 4-letter word that was spelled Food. I am sure you can relate. And so for much of my childhood, I was overweight. Fast forward into teenagers. I'm a teenager. My teenage years, I was living with an aunt. I went away to live with an aunt for high school. And I lost the weight. I lost that childhood chubbiness. And that was simply because the eating style was different at her house. And I had a lot more physical activity going on. I walked to school. It was further away to walk to school. I walked to most of the other activities that I needed to get to. And the distances were further than when I was living at home as a child. And so, yes, the weight came off. We go forward some more, and I'm in college, and the weight is back on. And this is because you're studying late at night, you order a pizza. Do you want an extra one for just $1 more? You get an extra large pizza. Do we need to add some wings to that? How about supersize me of a soda? And so the weight is on. You're studying, you're eating, you're studying. And that's where some of that, a lot of that weight came back on. So yes, I understand the struggle of having to work my way through weight gain and weight loss on and off for several years. But later on in my adult life, okay, so then you get married, then you have children. You have that cycle, that seesaw, up and down, weight on, weight off, and it's a constant struggle. But later on in my life, when it clicked for me that a lot of what I was looking forward to would be as a result of having excess weight, carrying around excess weight. It clicked when I got diagnosed with high blood pressure. And my doctor and I had it out a little bit because she wanted to put me, and she actually did put me on blood pressure medication, which I fought against because it made me sick. And we came to an agreement. I would get off the blood pressure medication if I lost the weight. And so here's how I say it. I got rid of the weight by nutrition and exercise. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the exercise in a future video, but today I wanted to focus on the nutrition, which is the 80%. So most of it is nutrition based. And I say deliberately and intentionally, I say get rid of the weight, because I like to choose my words carefully, and my words help to inform and instruct my mindset about what that was. And so getting rid of the weight is more permanent for me in my mind than saying I'm losing the weight. Because guess what? When you lose something, you lose your keys, you lose your glasses, you lose something else around the house. What do? You go looking for it. So I don't want to go and lose any weight and be looking for it, or have it come back to look for me. And so over those years, after I made nutrition a bigger part of my weight loss journey, getting rid of that weight became more about what I'm adding into, and less about what can't I have, what am I losing because I'm trying to get rid of this weight. So nutrition was the big thing. Putting into my system, putting into my body, putting onto my plate more of the things that will feed my body in the right way, that will nourish my body in the right way. And by doing that, it helped to get rid of what was not necessary in my body in the first place. So the weight, although there was something that I was doing intentionally, some of the weight is coming off naturally because of what I'm not putting into my body. And I talk about this a little bit more extensively in some of my other videos. So how can you do this for yourself? I learned through all of that trial and error, going through all of those changes in my growing up years, my childhood to teenage years to adulthood, and further as I matured, there's something that I learned, and I want to share that with you in the hopes that it can help you as well. The one constant, the one thing that did not change was me. And so my environment changed, my circumstances changed, but I was the same person. So guess what could make the difference? Me. I could make the difference if I went somewhere, I moved to another location and things were not the same. I could then do what I needed to do, even though the environment was different. And so what does that look like now? At home, or when I go out to eat, or when I'm with other people? And you can apply this to yourself. So at home, you get to choose. You get to choose the right things to put in your pot, in your plate. You get to choose when you go shopping what you buy. Be influenced by yourself. Be your own influencer in terms of, this is what I want. This is how I want my weight to be. If you get those, you go to your doctor or a nutritionist or dietitian and you get your measurements, you'll get to know what you need to be in terms of your weight range. I know what my weight range needs to be, and I'm not looking at a specific number. It's not a die-hard number. It's a range within maybe 3, 5, 7 pounds or so. You can be in a range and still be in a healthy weight range for your age and for your height. So I'm keeping track of that all the time. My height, my age, and that weight range. What does that look like for you at home? making sure that when you go shopping, you have those staples, those nutritious foods on hand at home, so that when you get crazy hungry at night, or you're working hard, or you come home, you are not reaching for the wrong things. If you don't have them on hand to begin with, you cannot reach for them. You cannot go and get them from the cupboard, from the pantry, from the fridge, from wherever. So having those things, you are in control of that. What does that look like when you go out to eat? It helps to think ahead. If you know where you're going, let's say you're going out to dinner with friends, it's your birthday, it's an anniversary, it's a special occasion, you know in advance where you're going, think ahead. Most places now, there's a menu available online somewhere, whether it's on their Meta page or some other place online. You can easily find out what they serve, and you can think and plan ahead. What am I going to order? I'm going to stay with this, and you can make a plan. If they don't have this, then I will go for something more nutritious, healthier. So you can buffer that weight gaining momentum, that kind of, oh, I have no control over this, by thinking and planning ahead, even if you're going out to eat where you didn't prepare the food for yourself. What does that look like when you are around other people? And there are some people in your life, I know I have them in my life, I'm sure you have them in yours, that I call food pushers. And these are people who they're not on the healthy weight loss, healthy, get healthier train that you are on. And so they don't mind going to the dessert table and taking a sample of everything that's offered there and bringing one for you, two for you, and say, hey, I brought you one of each here. They don't care, but you need to care. So again, you are the constant. You are the person who can say no to that. No, this does not fit in the healthy eating lifestyle path that I'm on. Thank you for thinking of me, but no, thank you. You can do that. You can stop them and help to educate them. This is not helpful for me because it's not something. So when you're going somewhere and I know there are places that I will be attending, they won't have any healthy stuff. It'll be all the wonderful cheesy stuff, salty, sweet pastries, filled things, fried foods. It'll be all those things. I know this because I know the environment. I know the people. So I go forearmed. I take a little sandwich bag with nuts, or a sandwich, or an apple, a tangerine, my own small portable bottle of water, things like that will take the edge off if I get extra hungry, until I can fend for myself and make my own food. So these are just some of the ways that you can start to build in the 80% of the nutrition that's needed for you to start seeing the excess weight coming off. And then the other 20% is fitness, and we'll talk about that in another video. But now I wanted to just ask you, what is something as it relates to your weight loss, as it relates to, as I say, getting rid of the excess weight because you don't want it to come back? And that might be for health reasons, or because something is already happening. Diabetes is in your system. Like I said, high blood pressure might be there. Heart disease might be there. High cholesterol might be there. There are lots of other diseases and illnesses that are directly affected by how much weight we are carrying. So it behooves us to get rid of it, if not all, some, even 5 pounds, even a small percentage. Did you know that if you are carrying excess weight and your knees are hurting, sometimes the problem is not your knees, it's the weight. 1 pound, yes, 1 pound loss. For every pound loss takes 5 pounds of pressure off your knees. 1 pound. For every pound lost, gotten rid of, takes 5 pounds of pressure off your knees. And so sometimes just doing that little bit can help us tremendously in our quest, in our journey, in our desire to get healthier. So what is something that you are struggling with as it relates to your weight? Or what is something that you have recently learned that you wish you had known sooner? I'd love to hear what those thoughts are, what your answers are. Leave the comments for me. Leave some comments for me, and I will see you in the next video.